Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. जय विश्वपाद पंचाचार्य सुदर्शन शिष्य भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, नंद गौड़ी वैष्णव की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर जी प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसारि गौर भक्ति जय, श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ राधा श्री कृष्ण राधा हरिकुंज जी की जय, कृष्ण राम की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to Assembly Bodies Hare Krishna, all glories to Assembly Bodies Hare Krishna, all glories to Assembly Bodies Hare Krishna, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Okay, so since we don't have a mic, usually I have a bad throat. We have a big mic system. होता है कॉलेज स्पीचिंग के लिए यूज करते हो जो the bigger one. Usually I don't speak well without the mic. Okay, Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shikha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Radha Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, I have two choices with you. I'll give you two choices. I'll speak on. So you can choose one of them. It will be okay. You have a big system? Big mic system? Okay, you don't have. Now it's okay? Okay. Let me see. Hare Krishna. Is the voice clear on the online platform? Oh, I see. This side, sir. Okay. Okay. Is the voice clear on the online platform?
No, Prabhuji.
No. Now is it okay? Hare Krishna, is it okay now? Is it the case with everyone or with just a few devotees? I'm saying, is it you only who's having a problem or the one also? Okay. So I'll give you two options. Okay. Now have a piece. I can either speak on freedom from fear. How can we become fearless? Or other option is how can we go back to God? The easy way out. What do you want? Okay. Raise of hand for freedom from fear. Okay. Are you all having fear? And raise your hand for back to God. Okay, few. I'll try to cover both of them, okay? At least, so there's a verse from the Bhagavatam. If you have your Veda base in your phone, you can just open it. 11.2.37. 11.2.37 is one of the very famous verse which often quoted by Srila Prabhupada on the topic of becoming free from the material energy or becoming fearless. How can we? And the one of the Nav Yogendras in the Bhagavatam we see, the saints basically, they are telling about how we can become free from all fears. Okay, and this is the important verse, and maybe at your own ease time you can memorize this also. Bhayam ditya bhivineshuta syat ishadape tasya vipryo smriti tanmaya jata buddha bhajetam bhakti ekayesham gurudevatatmaha. Who knows this verse? Varusha, you know this verse? Okay. You make sure you make a point, you memorize it after it. If somebody doesn't know. This is a classic verse, most quoted by Srila Prabhupada, one of the favorite verse. How one can become free from the material life. I'll read the translation and I'll discuss. Fear arises when a living entity misidentifies himself as a material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When the living entity thus turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency for illusion called Maya, and therefore an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotion service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity, as his very life and soul. Okay. So in this life, there are many kinds of fear. Now, there is one term called healthy fear. Some fears are desired in the life so that we remain on track. What are the fears that are called healthy fears? Can you narrate an example? Any fear that you find which is desirable, a fear that is desirable should be there, a healthy fear.
Fear of losing.
Just. So norm is one who raise hand, he will speak, right? Fear of losing association of devotees. In just material life also. What kind of fear?
Fear of administration.
Fear of government. Yeah, you cannot break laws.
Fear of death.
Just like you cannot jump your traffic jam, not this red light. You cannot jump red light. A fear has to be there. It's a healthy fear. So just like in material life, there are many fears which are required in life to normalize it. So similarly, in spiritual life also we have some healthy fears which is required. Not offending devotees. Any example? Losing association of devotees. Not performing proper sadhana so that you may lose focus on Krishna, lose focus, track of Krishna consciousness. So these fears are desirable. They're called healthy fears. So now people don't say that I'm very fearful, I'm very scared, I'm very frightened. People don't say like this now. There's another term which is oftenly used in replace with the fears, or you could rather say this is a synonym of fear. It's insecurity, isn't it? People, they have emotional insecurity. People feel loneliness, right? They have financial insecurity. What will happen? What will happen if I don't get a job? What is my career? What is my future? People have social insecurity. What is my status? How people would rate me in their own opinion? How am I going to impress people with my resources? Or what in general people are going to say about me, isn't it? So this insecurity, social insecurity, psychological insecurity, intelligent insecurity. So there are many insecurities. So one of the synonym now people oftenly used in terms of fear is your insecurities. And people have insecurities. Life is very insecure. And this verse precisely speaks about why these insecurities arise in the life. Bhayam dvitiya abhivineshita syat. So bhayam, or in our language or antam we say insecurity arise because when one separates himself from the Supreme Lord, when disconnects. Actually I had a fever for a long day, so throat is almost like choked with cough. So, when one disconnects himself from the Supreme Lord, all kind of fears arises. Because in life, padam padam yad vipadam natesham. In life, Life is all about ups and downs. There'll be high time in your life, there'll be low time in life, based on your karmas. And everyone is controlled by his karmas. Nobody is karma free. If you were a karma free person, you would have been a spiritual world. Suppose just basic fundamentals. Suppose you have one pious activity and one sinful activity. What will happen? You will remain in material world. Okay? Suppose you have no sinful activity, but you have a pious activities. What will happen? You will stay still in material world. You have 0 pious activities, 0 sin. What will happen? You go to spiritual world. Go to spiritual world. I mean, obviously there has to be devotion service to Krishna. That's how. So nobody is a karma free in the world, and one has to pay for his karma. It's so there are 3 ways a devotee deals, or there are 3 categories. Not a devotee, I would rather say a category of devotees deal with the karmas. They see the karma or situation in the life, and the perspective of the Bhagavatam, how one should see the karmas or the situations one is going through. Difficult, easy one, whatever, pleasing one. One should observe those difficulties in life. The often reply is, or response of a living entity is, or maybe an initial devotee, that because of the situation, one starts to blame others. He starts to blame situations. Because of this situation, I could not grow in my life. Because this person, I couldn't perform well. Or this happened, that happened, my parenting was not good, my upbringing was not good, my association was not good. So it was not favorable, conducive, so and so on. So tendency to blame others, and even tendency to blame God. With rag, bhai, krodha. Krodha means one blames God also. Why did this happen to me? So tendency to blame others. This is an often reply. You blame situation for any difficult happening that happens to you. This is the first response, which is a very low response, low category of consciousness. And the second one is, one blames his karmas. Oh, it is my responsibility because this were, maybe in this life or previous life, these are my karmas, I have to pay for it, and I am responsible for it. So one doesn't blame other people's situation, one blames his own self. That I am responsible for these karmas, to pay for it, and I have to go through it. Okay, this is second kind of consciousness, where I'm not blaming any situation, I'm blaming myself. I'm not blaming God. It is my karma, I should go through it. Third is, which is the perspective of the Bhagavatam. We see in the case studies in the Bhagavatam, how devotees think about the Lord. That it is, every situation in my life, it is sent by Krishna. So in first case, you're not seeing Krishna. In second case, you're just at least seeing yourself. But in the third case, the highest form of consciousness of a devotee, a refined consciousness, is that he sees Krishna through situations. He's not seeing situations only, he's seeing Krishna. So it depends on Krishna. Many times in life, many things would happen, but a devotee only focuses on Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj. Oh, it is a good thing that I've been cursed. It's a good thing. So now I can leave everything and just focus on hearing about Krishna from the saintly person. So it was not, what worse could happen to a person? You are destined to die within a 7 day, and in seeing Krishna, it is a will of the Lord that I've been cursed. So, and this is a way of Krishna also. It's not just that devotees thinking like this. Theoretically, oh yeah, Krishna might have done it. Yeah, I should think it is done by Krishna. I should. When you start doing it, Krishna is a person. It is based on wisdom and realization of a person. Progression in spiritual life and devotional life means one should progress in his wisdom. That is, progress means, wisdom means what? You must realize Krishna. That is precise the wisdom is. Band kar de isko. Is it required to be opened? Is it required to be opened? Okay, just for fresh air. So progression in devotional service means one should progress in his wisdom. Wisdom means his realization of Krishna. He must connect with Krishna, must see Krishna. And Krishna is a person. You take one step, Krishna will take 10 steps towards you. He will give you that realization. Because Krishna knows hardly anyone comes to me, and if there's a person coming to me, I should give him full opportunity to realize me. Krishna does his best. So, when you become a devotee, see, you see the relevance in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna speaks the words. If it is not relevant, why does Krishna speak the words about Bhagavad Gita and this particular verse? This Manusha Nam Sahasreshu Kashyasya. You heard this verse? Huh? Yes. There are many, thousand people, few proceed towards me, and of those people, hardly anyone reaches to me. If somebody is trying to come to Krishna, Krishna never leaves him. That's the first condition. Krishna never leaves. You may forget Krishna, but Krishna would never forget you. There are many stories, devotees have tried to leave Krishna consciousness, but suddenly, in many ways, Krishna tried to pull them again back on the track of devotion service. There are many stories like this. So, first thing is, the highest thing is, a person depends on Krishna. You may get a job, not get a job, or you may have some home securities, securities with your social life, whatever. And Krishna sometimes purposefully put us through in some difficulties. That's a way of Krishna's training a devotee to come to the level of highest standard of devotional service. To put a devotee into testing periods. That's how devotee progresses more. Problems are good if they remind you of Krishna. So obviously Krishna won't give you that exam which you cannot pass over. So this is a devotee how he should see. The situation is nothing but it is coming from Krishna. Prabhupada writes in the first canto, a devotee's conclusion is that whatever happens in a situation, he thinks it is sent by Krishna. It is sent by Krishna. Let me go through it. The difficulty is usually Krishna is reticent. He is silent. Appears to be silent, usually. If you know three things, you can go through any problem joyfully. First, is it given by Krishna? If you know that. Or this is the purpose Krishna wants to teach me, this is a lesson. And this will be over by this time. So if you know these three things, any devotee can joyfully go through any problem. Okay, it is, you know this is given by Krishna. Okay, this will be over by this time. And this is a lesson which Krishna wants to teach me. But usually a devotee doesn't know it. I don't know, is it given by Maya or Krishna? And it appears that problem will exist for forever. When you are in the middle of a situation, it would exist forever. And I don't know what's the point in gaining this situation. I don't know what is to be understood in the situation. People usually are confused, even devotees also. So this is a way Krishna trains. Clarity comes from confusions. So in this confusing state, a devotee takes more and more shelter of Krishna. This is for the initial devotee, when they have almost a bit of association of Krishna. Theoretically they have done, okay, they know Krishna is there, Krishna exists, I'm a devotee, he will take care of me. So that's how in part of the hearing process you hear about this. Krishna is there, he will take care of you, he will protect you. And you have many instances, Krishna has done that. Krishna has done that for me. So based on that you progress. And with intensifying your devotion service, when you proceed more towards Krishna, that's how we focus more on sadhana. Your sadhana is nothing but your connection with Krishna. So when you forget Krishna, Maya will trap you, obviously. And Krishna gives you that experience of Maya also. And how is it a troubling potency of me? So by the process of devotion service, the 5 ways you can connect with Krishna. The more you connect with Krishna, the more wisdom you gain, the more understanding you get how I can overcome it and how it is given by Krishna, this particular situation. There are 5 ways. The 5 potent ways given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is about chanting. You chant the holy name of Krishna with utmost attention, call out Krishna. It's all about, devotion service is all about quality of your heart, of your offering, your calling, you're performing the spiritual practice. It's all about quality. The same thing you can go on doing it for millions of years, but won't get any spiritual effect if it is done mechanically. There's no calling for Krishna. So first thing is chanting, hear about Krishna, this is Bhagavatam Sharan. So read Krishna's deities, or Krishna himself in the form of a deity. And go to trips like Vrindavan and Mayapur and other holy places. For what is the fifth one? For be in association with devotees. So these are the 5 limbs where you can connect Krishna most. Initially, we may be confused. What is happening? Take shelter of these 5 sources. Immediately you will connect with Krishna. Immediately you will connect with Krishna. And second thing, what this work speaks about. So that is why a devotee should take shelter of a spiritual master and accept spiritual master as his life and soul. And based on his instruction, one should lead his life. That's how he can realize Krishna. You can realize Krishna by instruction of a Krishna's representative, because we don't know Krishna. So we need a person who can guide us through in devotion service. And that person is your Diksha Guru and your the guiding person, your I don't know, what do you call, counselor, whatever. A person who can guide us, a bona fide spiritual master. And Prabhupada writes, he is free from the envy of all living entities. This is one of the qualifications of the bona fide spiritual master. He doesn't have envy. And Prabhupada writes, the satisfaction of the spiritual master is the only secret in spiritual life. You can realize Krishna. If your spiritual master is pleased with you, you can realize Krishna. Prabhupada is stating in one lecture, he's saying, I was thinking to go to US, America, to preach about Krishna consciousness. And I was reading Bhagavad Gita of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And he read this verse 2.41. Vyavasatmaka buddhi, eke hakuru nandanam. You know this verse? You memorize this verse also, if you don't know. Vyavasatmaka buddhi. So 2.41 and this 11.2.37. Bhayam Dvitya Abhineshatasyam. And Prabhupada said, I read this one statement of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that the instruction of the spiritual master should be the life and soul for the disciple. So Prabhupada saying, I made a point that time that I'll fulfill the instruction of spiritual master and go to US or America. One time when Prabhupada reached America, so this is a period in 1965. Prabhupada is in America. So he was standing in park. So there's one favorable person who came and approached Prabhupada that you can stay in my place. I think his name was John. He was 17 years old boy and he was staying in a loft on the 5th floor of the building. This is mentioned in Miracle on the 2nd Avenue. And so there was one Michael who was invited by his friend for a program to attend this Prabhupada Swami's lecture. He came from very far off, and as soon as he was about to enter the building, he found there's a strong smell of beer and urine. And he was like, it's going to be a spiritual discourse here in this place, because he had come from very far distance. So he said, let me try, give me a try. I should at least go and visit this Swami, Indian Swami. And he sat there, entered the room. So Prabhupada was giving lecture. There were 4 people were there, and he was the 5th one. He sat. Prabhupada usually gave a 30 minutes lecture. And then he started speaking to Prabhupada, some questions. And one of the questions he asked, Swamiji, why did you come here? Prabhupada told, because I was told by my spiritual master ordered me to come here. And he couldn't take it. I mean, you came at the age of 70 because somebody told you to come. So he couldn't understand. So Prabhupada had 3 volumes of Bhagavatam, first canto. This is what Prabhupada took along with him, 200 sets of Bhagavatam, and he was selling at $16 in bookshops. That's how Prabhupada sustained for first year of his preaching, by selling this Bhagavatam to stores and devotees. So he bought one Bhagavatam, $16, and then he started reading it. In that Bhagavatam, this Michael read the first canto. The secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the spiritual master. When he read that, he became very convinced that this person is a committed disciple of his spiritual master. And then he became very sincere. Now he's Mukunda Goswami Maharaj. You know, perhaps he's still there. He's one of the first batch of Srila Prabhupada's 1966, 11 disciples, I guess. So one of the first batch. So this is how you can rise above Maya, by following the instruction of the spiritual master, the sadhana that he gives, the practices that he gives. Because it is the duty of the spiritual master to take away a disciple from this external potency of the Lord, and give you and place you in the internal potency. Hope you know Maya and Yoga Maya. To place, by following the instructions of the spiritual master, one is placed in the internal potency of the Lord, because spiritual master is nothing but the representative of Krishna. So Krishna in that form is speaking to you. He is a representation of Krishna. So yeah, the problem is, so I'll summarize, there are healthy fears in the life, fears which are required, should be there, and which are good. So some healthy insecurities should be there. Fear of losing association of devotees, offending devotees, not performing your sadhana, not reading Srila Prabhupada books, not attending morning program. These fears are good. You may become weaker in spiritual life, and you forget your focus. Once you become weak, it will become very easy for you to be irritated in your life, frustrated. The sign of weakness means you'll be very frustrated. The sign of strength means amidst of all difficulties in life, you'll be steadfast, you'll be steady. Steadiness will be there. That's what Prabhupada says. The test of one's power is what? How one is tolerant in provoking situation, isn't it? How you can maintain your sobriety in provoking situation. That's the power of one's measurement of one's strength. Weakness is you get irritated very easily. In life you find many people with different natures, and oftenly people hardly to see any person in life who's like very dhira in any cool-headed in all situation. Very cool-headed. Obviously, situation makes you cool-headed many times, but you're not disturbed. Very hard you find any person, because there's no spiritual practice. See, the only thing in the world is lacking is spiritual strength. If one doesn't have a spiritual strength, what will happen is you'll always tend to forget your focus. Always tend to forget your focus. It requires spiritual strength to remain on the track. And once you lose the focus, it takes energy to come back again. Because you're digressing from the path. You're going away. So anyhow, so we discussed about the healthy fear which is required, it should be there, and discuss about the synonym of fears now converted into, spoken mostly into local languages, insecurities. People have insecurities, it will not leave you, for sure. We have our karmas, we are not pure devotees. Obviously, we are trying to be pure devotee, and to the degree you are sincere in your practice, you are becoming pure, but we are not 100% pure devotee, maybe 20%, 30%, 50%. So to the degree of your advancement, you might realize Krishna. So whenever we say we have to advance in Krishna consciousness means you advance towards whom? Krishna. Spiritual advancement means what? Advance towards Krishna. Who is spiritual ultimately? Krishna is spiritual. So advance towards Krishna. And one thing will benefit you. There's one verse, Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadinamritam. So mostly why people cannot advance, because they don't know what they have to do in advancement, in order to advance actually. So one time Niranjan Maharaj was giving a lecture, and he says, even if you've been a devotee for 10 years, 15 years, you find so many arthas are still hovering on your head, or you're struggling with. And you don't feel that you're making that much advancement that you should be making in devotion service. At least the basic anarthas are still disturbing. A devotee even being advanced for 15, 20, 25 or more than years. So the reason is there's one thing lacking in life. And he quotes his verse, Anya Bhilashita Shiryam. I hope you also memorize this verse. Anya Bhilashita Shiryam. You get these three verses. Bhyam Dvitiya, Anya Bhilashita, and this 241. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So he says, and he focuses on this Krishna Anushilanam. You'll find this verse, Krishna Anushilanam, Bhakti Ruttama. So this Krishna Anushilanam is lacking. In Bhakti, we are doing Bhakti. We are staying in base. You may be staying, or you will be staying, and may not be advancing so much if one thing lacks here. That, see, why did you come to base? Chalo, let us ask your reason. Why did you come to base? What is your reason staying in base in association devotees? Speak from your heart. Speak from your. What is your core reason? This is the reason I'm in base.
For myself, I believe that without association of devotee, I cannot advance.
Okay, advance. Okay, wait. Huh?
Comfortable life.
In base, comfortable life is more rather. Okay.
I find good people here.
Good people here. Okay. What else?
Get rid of material life.
Material life. One more.
Good association for that. Get away from
Now, distraction. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Did you realize? He said from good people. I think you said about a comfort, distraction from material life, bondage of something. Rid of material life. What did he say? Association of body. Do you realize one thing? And this, if this thing sustains all the time, you won't make much advancement, to be very honest. Do you realize one thing here? There is no Krishna. Nobody spoke about Krishna. Huh? Living at this, from the time immemorial, is forgetful of Krishna. Krishna doesn't come out of his mouth itself. It takes an endeavor to, Krishna. I came here for Krishna. Ultimately, base is Krishna. The worship. The only focus is worship to service to Krishna. Worship to Krishna. Live a Krishna-centric life. So a living entity from the time immemorial is forgetful of Krishna. This is what Prabhupada says. We've forgotten Krishna. That is the only purpose of coming and staying base is to memorize Krishna, is to remember Krishna. Some other, by medium of service, through medium of prasadam, or Mangalarti, or in association devotees, getting rid of life, material life means what? Even Mayavadis also want to get their material life. If there is no something positive, cultivation towards Krishna, Krishna Anushilanam, cultivate the consciousness of Krishna. Cultivate, more precisely, is intention to please Krishna. That's how you make a relationship with Krishna. The only point in bhakti, what is bhakti means what? Bhakti means cultivating a relationship with Krishna. No, sometimes we had the first time, relationship with Krishna. Oh, I can be in relationship with Krishna. Yes, this is what precisely the bhakti means. Establish, revive, and continue your relationship with Krishna. This is bhakti. And this is what? Krishna Anushidanam. Cultivate desire to please Krishna. So if your practices are focused on this point, intention to please Krishna, with all my chanting, all my services, all my staying in base, I have to please Krishna. This is the ultimate point in spiritual life, to please God, to please Krishna. And that's how you can get free from distraction, and Krishna will give you real comfort. He wants to make his devotee very happy. And that's the point of being in association. Getting rid of your material life is to come closer to Krishna. So, if you don't remember anything in the lecture today, just remember this point. Intention to please Krishna. We have a history, we speak a lot of stuff in lectures and people cannot recall it, cannot remember it. So essence of this presentation today is intention to please Krishna. Whatever activity that you do, you came here for Krishna. See, what does a sadhu do? What does a saintly person do? He'll bring you closer to Krishna, not closer to himself, isn't it? He's a messenger of Krishna. He will tell you, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We are all his part and parcel. You'll be happy by connecting with Krishna. You'll be unhappy by disconnecting yourself. Simple. The philosophy is very simple. So, come closer to Krishna, you will gain wisdom, realization of Krishna. You will establish relationship with Krishna. What more you need if you are in relationship with Krishna? What more you need? That's why devotee is completely satisfied with just devotion service. That is the standard of a devotee. He doesn't need anything. He's just satisfied with chanting the holy name of Krishna, preaching about Krishna, his glories, singing his glories. Simply satisfied. Doesn't need anything. And that's why even a spiritual master is free from envy, because it doesn't need it. Envy means what? Envy is because of some cause. some object. The only cause of envy is some object. If there's no object, there won't be any envy in the world. Envy is there because of the object. Why can't I have this? Why only is given to him? So, because one is completely satisfied in devotion, service to Krishna doesn't need anything in the world. He's the most happiest person in the world. He's completely satisfied. And this is, people are striving to achieve to this target that they want to be always peaceful and happy and satisfied. But without being fully Krishna conscious, one cannot be happy. Possibly cannot be happy. Okay, this is where we would like to end. And any questions, any comment?
During difficult times, like we know on the knowledge and philosophy, but on the emotional side, we are still blaming the situation, blaming the people. So how can we transfer the knowledge from our intellectual side to the emotional side?
See, sometimes we may be weak. You need a strength of other person. You have to borrow the strength from other person. Sometimes our faith is very weakened. We have to speak to a person who has a good faith. So sometimes we are not realized Krishna. We are new on the path of devotional service. Not so much experience. So it is a concept you find in the material world. You take help from the experienced one. Someone who can guide you through. When you are in a problem, you take help. There are a few things which I'll suggest. First thing is, read the scripture. Oftentimes a person is disturbed because he's not reading scriptures. He's disconnect from the knowledge. It's not theoretically knowledge. Someone like books like Prabhupada, realize knowledge. Read the scripture. What does Krishna have to say about it? Let it sink into your mind. Read it again and again. Keep reading it. Second, take help from an experienced person. Sometimes we are weak. We are not able to realize. We are not seeing. Updeshanti Jnanam Tattvadarshina. Who's a Tattvadarshina? Someone who has realized. So something you cannot see, from his light you can see. From his perspective you can see. On our own, it's a very difficult process. I know something because, be honest about it. I'm blaming, now I'm blaming. Be honest to yourself. So spiritual life, on your own, it becomes a very difficult journey. It's a difficult process. You have to realize Krishna. As someone who's forgotten of Krishna for millions of lifetimes, now is trying to realize Krishna. It takes a blue part of you. It takes a lot of endeavors. Isn't it? Take help from the outside. Someone is powerful, filled with Krishna. Anyone?
You said this time problems are good.
They remind you of Krishna.
And what are those three things to remain peaceful? Three things.
Did I speak about? Three things to remain peaceful.
It was fast.
Could you recall me? Did I say something?
Go through difficult situations.
Prabhuji said that
How to go
any
through
devotee can go through a bad situation eventually.
Three level of consciousness I rather spoke about. Blaming consciousness, blaming one's own self. The third is not blaming Krishna. Then again falls into first one is seeing Krishna through situations. Three level of consciousness. So based on one's, for a devotee, see the usual response of the non-devotees is blaming situations and people. This is not a devotee is supposed to be, at least blaming his own self. It's a good standard. It's a good standard. So you're making yourself responsible for situation. It's a good standard at least. But there's no Krishna in it. It's just your own self. Even material people do that. Ye to hamare karma, these are karma they'll go through. Even non-devotees can do that. But only devotee can see Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, should we develop these consciousness artificially, or will this develop automatically?
It starts from on an artificial level. Now you're aware, this should be done. First thing is awareness. Second is practice. If practice doesn't give you realization, there's no use of practice otherwise, isn't it? If there's no point that you can realize Krishna, so what is the point of doing any practice? There's no point if you can realize Krishna by any practice, what is use of the practice? And what is use of devotion service itself? If you can realize Krishna. So, but general experience is, see, preaching is done in the mood of friendship with Krishna. Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavatam. How do you preach? What is the consciousness of a devotee? Because Krishna, a preacher, based on from preacher's perspective, because Krishna has helped me in so many ways, and he will help you also certainly. This is the mood of the preaching. It's in the mood of friendship with Krishna. Because Krishna has helped me in so many ways, and he will help you also. So a realized speaker is speaking his own experience, trying to give that experience to you, and you may practice and get that same experience and pass it on to others. So there's so many millions of devotees of Krishna, and they are being devotee. See, Krishna exists. The biggest proof is what? Devotees continuing the devotion service. You know? The biggest proof of Krishna as devotees continuing his devotion service for so many years. Not even one devotee. They are not just devotees in ISKCON. There are millions of devotees outside also. All devotees. Without motivation you can't do. You can't fake it for life. Isn't it? The biggest proof of Krishna is devotees. They are doing devotion service to Krishna. And it is a personal thing. It's an internal thing. You start giving yourself to Krishna, and you start seeing Krishna is giving to you. Isn't it? Okay? Yes, Pani.
When we are facing any problem, how we can differentiate that we are facing this problem because of our own mistake, or because, as you said, that Krishna has some plan for us?
See, depends on degree of one consciousness in devotion service. Depends on the process or progress in your, how much closer you have come to Krishna. The ultimate point in practicing devotion service is you can see Krishna's situation. That is how the first thing is, you read the case studies in the Bhagavatam or scriptures, you read books. It reminds you of Krishna. That how many devotees they have fallen into many problems and they think of Krishna and how Krishna was arranging for them. So reading those stories, they're not just stories, episodes in the Bhagavatam, which are factual facts, is essential. And to be very honest, many things, how will this happen, how will this happen? You have to come to it. You have to come to a point to really connect with Krishna. Otherwise, everything is theoretical. Isn't it? How will it happen? You do it, it will happen to you. It's a process. Devotion service is a process. Sadhana bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prem bhakti is a process. Devotion service to Krishna, the program that you follow, chanting, do it with utmost sincerity. It will bring you come closer to Krishna. But you know your purpose. The purpose is Krishnanushilanam, intention to please Krishna. With your chanting, with your worship, with your prasadam, eating even, offering, try to please Krishna. And Krishna will do that to you. When you're doing just mechanically on the order of someone, like base in charge, it's okay. But there should be intention to please Krishna with an act. And that's how you can realize Krishna. There's a process. If Krishna is in your consciousness, he will reciprocate. Reciprocate.
How can we develop like intention to please Krishna? Like in the reading,
Practice.
Like I have heard is take it until you make it. So
Practice. Nothing else. There's no formula. Only practice. Consciously one has to practice. Sometimes when you're alone or with devotees, try to sing for Krishna. Maybe you can do some cooking for Krishna. Whatever you like, you preach for Krishna. See, the principle is, do that act where you can absorb Krishna most, where you can see Krishna, which gives you highest form of realization, highest realization of Krishna. Some people are absorbed in kirtan, some people are absorbed in reading books, some people are absorbed in preaching about Krishna, some people in just cleaning temple hall, cleaning base, doing some regular service. That's how this is Krishna's base, or Krishna's temple, I should clean. Some people are absorbed in deity worship. You know? Some people become more Krishna when they visit to Dham. So, perform that activity where you can see Krishna most, which give you highest reciprocation of Krishna. You know, you really like this. And you like it because Krishna is giving you something. Okay? Yeah. Please, yeah.
Even after reading the scriptures, we cannot recall at the time of difficulties.
So help. On our own, Prabhupada says, if one thinks that alone one can advance in devotional service, then he's an insane person, pagal vyakti, he's a mad person. On our own, just by reading a scripture, you can make progress. He's an insane person. Even you can't read Bhagavad Gita, understand it on your own. It's a different meaning altogether. You have to learn it from the experienced devotee.
By asking questions.
Asking questions under his guidance. What is this meaning of? How should I understand? He'll give you memories of Krishna's in those things. What does Krishna, intention of Krishna actually, what does Krishna has to say about this? So, even Bhagavad Gita is a very technical book. See, it may be written in English or Hindi, but not that anybody who knows English and Hindi can understand Bhagavad Gita. It's a technical book, just like physics. Anybody who knows English or whatever Hindi, so I know English, so I can understand physics also. No, it's a technical thing. You may be knowing in English, and you can read Gita in English. It's a technical book, mathematics, physics. So you have to learn from a teacher who knows the subject, isn't it? Or you may take out a different purport out of it. Yeah, it's deluding, sometimes deluding. People take out a different, on their own, take out a different purpose, and you lose this focus. Okay? So wish you all the best. The ultimate thing that we would like you to remember from this session today is the cultivated desire to please Krishna, intention to please Krishna. And by this way, make a relationship with Krishna. These two things. Forget everything. Cultivated desire to please Krishna, intention to please Krishna. Second is, try to establish your relationship with Krishna. When you do that, first one, second one is a natural effect. Okay? Hare Krishna. Sadhguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
So I'd like to thank Mr. Prabhuji for giving his time to us and sharing with us about he gives more association to us in the future. So we'll chant one time Hare Krishna Mantra Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare